Where should the top free agents go? Who's left?
We're really kind of down to it. I mean, the guys who are like the veterans, let's say the big names that are left out there. Ryan Tannehill sitting out there. At this point, I think that Tannehill probably is more likely to land in a Joe Flacco type situation a year ago, where wait and see who gets hurt. Maybe somebody gets desperate. They offer you more money. There was interest in Tannehill early in the offseason, but he wasn't interested in coming in and being a straight backup or not for much money. He'll sit and wait. We'll see if he ends up playing, but usually there's injuries, and he'd be the top guy on that list. There's some running backs sitting out there. Dalvin Cook is one of them. You go back to a year ago when Dalvin was, in the offseason when he got released by the Vikings, which was a little bit after this in the calendar, and then, had different options, ends up with the Jets, disappears there, which had as much to do with Aaron Rodgers' injury, honestly, as anything else, because they couldn't run the ball. They abandoned running the football, and Breece Hall rips off a 70-yard run in week one, showed his ACL was okay, and they kind of went away from him. But Dalvin's still, he's in better shape because he's not coming off of surgery this time around. Miami was the big rumor last year with Dalvin Cook. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami potentially is in the mix for him again this year. You got some older receivers, guys like Julio, Jarvis Landry, who had a trade or a workout rather back in rookie mini camps with the Jaguars. I think that somebody's going to sign Jarvis Landry at some point. He sat out last year, got his body right. Exactly where that is, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in Jacksonville at some point. Just hasn't come to fruition. And then you got guys like Shaquille Leonard sitting out there, Calais Campbell as well. Stephon Gilmore is a really interesting one because Gilmore, he's in the later stages of his career, but he still was performing at a high level last year. That's another guy that's not back in Dallas. So could he resurface going there? I know there's been a lot of rumors about the Panthers. I don't know that at this point in his career, Stephon Gilmore wants to go into a total rebuild in Carolina. I mean, he's a potential Hall of Famer. He's a former Defensive Player of the Year. I would think, a year after, remember, he basically wanted out in Indianapolis, so they traded him to Dallas because Indianapolis was starting over. I would think that, a contender would make sense for him. So is that a late addition as Jerry goes all in on that Cowboys roster? Certainly a possibility.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.